Hey guys, this is Bailey,
I'm Timothy.
and welcome to the What Sleep Podcast, where we talk about all the things that keep us up at night.
A lot of fucked up stuff.
Lots of fucked up stuff.
Cue intro music.
Today, we're going to be talking about something called the Black-Eyed Kids, or the Black-Eyed Children, or what I'm going to refer to them as our.
Demons.
Maybe.
I've seen Supernatural. Black eyes means demons.
BEK is what I'll refer to them as because it's easier.
Okay. Works for me.
So the BEK is an urban legend that's based strictly on testimonials and witness accounts.
Okay.
The Black-Eyed Kids, or BEK, are a phenomenon that live in the corners of the internet.
Of course, the good old internet.
The good old internet.
Is it on that deep web?
No, you can Google it.
Okay.
It's not deep web stuff.
It's not deep web stuff.
Maybe it used to be. It started out pretty early.
Okay. Got it.
Many people have written of their experiences with the BEK, though there is no substantial evidence or really any pictures or anything of their existence.
Okay.
They're pretty much more akin to a cryptid, so I like cryptids. We're going to talk about them.
I'm about it.
Some of the first testimonials are found from the 1980s, though most sources I found take us back to 1998.
Okay, not too far back.
Of the oldest, take us back to 1998 from a reporter in Texas by the name of Brian Bethel. He was active on a quote-unquote ghost-related mailing list. The mailing list was a string of messages on a forum between Bethel and a group of, I think they're like ghost lore and
Ghost adventures, right?
spooky, right? But for the internet.
But for the internet.
And this is actually called ghosts.org.
I'm gonna go on there.
Well, I think it still exists, but where I found most of my information was on the Wayback Machine. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, little time machine, but for the internet.
It's so cool. I didn't know it existed. But
it's weird going back to like old YouTube and whatnot.
Right. Does it still have like old MySpace pages?
Yep. It's pretty gross.
I'm gonna have to do a deep dive today. I feel it.
Yeah, because of that.
Who did I leave in my top 10?
I don't know. I wasn't in it.
Apparently not. The forum eventually ended up on a creepypasta website, of course.
Of course.
According to the transcript of the forum, which can, again, be found you can pretty much just Google Brian Bethel on the Wayback Machine, and it'll pop up, like the whole entire transcript of it is there. Awesome. Which is pretty cool. It's kind of crazy to read through. It's weird. It's there.
Extras at us.
Yeah, we like extras.
Yeah.
Photos and references and where we got our information. I got all that. Got receipts.
Gotta have them receipts, man. Never know when you'll need them.
On the forum, Bethel describes encountering the BEK in Abilene, Texas, and claims that a second person, who was also a part of the original forum, had a similar encounter in Portland, Oregon, though he does claim that it's not related, and though they do know each other, he says that it's two entirely separate incidents, and definitely...
He did it.
Definitely real.
Okay.
He told his story on a reality TV show called Monsters and Mysteries in America. And I did watch that episode. I think there's pretty important, like the most important part of the episodes are on a YouTube clip, which is what I watched. And you can see him like
Thank God for YouTube, man.
Right? You can see him describing these and he's like really intense about it. He's like, I saw them. They were there.
They were there, man. I seen them. YouTube is essentially just a glorified video archive. Let's be honest.
It's not glorified, it's the video archive. It is the video archive. Honestly.
You can find anything on YouTube.
He also wrote a follow-up article for the Abilene Reporter News, claiming legitimacy in his encounters, but we'll talk more on that later. Let's get into the children themselves. So they are described very similarly, with just a few small differences. I say they're very similarly because in each encounter, there's always two children.
Okay, and I guess they have black eyes.
Let me get into
Okay.
However, most often they are described being from ages 6 to 16 years old, alabaster skin that doesn't quite seem to be real, so a lot of people will say that it looks kind of leathery or maybe transparent.
Oh, have you seen me outside
I have.
in the sunlight? Same thing.
It's like a light bulb.
I'm essentially a giant walking neon light.
They also are normally seen wearing clothes that don't really match anything beyond a few decades prior to whatever time they're seen in. So, as far as Brian's story, his account was from 1998. So, the children that he saw looked like they were probably from like the 40s or the 50s.
So they're hipsters.
So, you know what? Probably. If
Hey.
we were to see them today, it'd probably be like the 80s for us. So, they'd probably go entirely unnoticed.
You know, I gotta say, it would match perfectly because like even our music is getting like that 80s vibe back. I really like it.
I'm really about
I'm
it.
about it.
Yeah. 100%.
Everyone's gonna start wearing those old neon jackets.
And the leggings.
And the leggings. Yep.
They are also reported to have very monotonous, is that the right word? Monotone?
Monotonous, yeah.
I was right. Look at me. Big vocab. Go. Monotonous, soulless voices. Most notably, though, are their eyes. Their eyes are said to be void, empty sockets, and entirely black.
So is it like they're missing their eyes, or do they have eyes but they're just like black?
It really comes down to the witness account because some state that it's like empty eye sockets.
That'd be horrifying.
It would be horrifying.
I think I'd rather have just black eyes other than just empty eye sockets.
You know, in some cases, people claim that their pupils are just so large it looks like their entire eyes are black.
They're really stoned.
Most cases, however, claim that it's pretty much like demon eyes. So like there's no whites of their eyes. It's just they have eyes.
Gotta get some salt.
All black. Some salt.
Yeah. Create a line of salt demons can't walk through. Oh, that's Ghost. No! I swear I've seen Supernatural, I promise. It's just been a while.
Back to their voices. Their voices are said to make people feel extremely uncomfortable and give the witness a sense of absolute dread. And what's creepier is what they say.
Okay. Don't know if I want to hear it, but sure, let's go.
Well, you're going to have to. You signed up for this.
I did.
When they speak to you, they make simple requests. What's odd about these requests is that they always say or ask something that doesn't quite make sense for one reason or another. These requests can be something like, can I make a fax? Can you take me to my house? Or can I ring the operator? I need to place a call to my mom.
Okay. And you said this was in like 1998?
This was 1998, but these are just accounts from multiple witnesses.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, who like rings the operator anymore?
Right, exactly. That's why it's so weird. It's like these children walk up to any random house and they're like, hey, my tape cassette died. Can I have new batteries or something, you know?
Man, we use charging cables now. What do you mean? What are batteries?
Right. But usually, again, it's something to gain permission to either enter your house or your vehicle. So these are almost always leading questions that will...
So they're vampires. They can't enter unless invited in.
It's a theory. That is a theory.
Bro.
So there's a couple of strange things, not just their appearance, but some mannerisms and things about BEK. They seem to have control over electronic devices, such as making lights turn on and off or causing TVs to just static or completely shut off.
Don't mess with my money. Like, come on. I paid good money for that TV. Don't ruin it.
Wouldn't be ruining it, just cutting off electricity.
Hey, you could ruin it. You know, that's why we have surge protectors, right?
That's fair.
Bam!
So they can turn it on and off at all times.
So does that mean I can sue them?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, good luck.
They'd
probably win that case.
If they
They're
show
terrifying.
up. They are terrifying. So far.
They also seem to only be able to speak in short sentences, though their vocabulary is pretty strong. So that with the short sentences, they typically will just sit there and repeat the same sentence over and over.
Okay.
So they can speak, and it's not like they're broken. It's just...
So is it like the Shining kids? Little twins at the end of the hall where they're just like, come play with us.
Kinda.
That's spooky, dude.
Those are demons, weren't they? Or are they just ghosts?
I think they're just ghosts.
Oh. Terrifying. These might be ghosts. We don't know. Ghosts of the internet.
I mean, at this point.
Some witnesses state that they'll see children playing on the street or in a park alone, and if the kids notice that they might have been seen, they'll immediately stop what they're doing, drop whatever it is that they have, and just stare at you before they start to approach
So I already don't like being stared at,
you.
especially when I'm in line at like the grocery store and that little kid in the stroller is just eyeing me.
There's a difference between getting stared at by an adult and a child. And most of the time, the kids are pretty
I don't
innocent
care.
and you can make like a goofy face at them and they'll laugh.
Nah, see, I just stare back at him and I'm just like, I will end you. Like, don't look at me. What do you got to look at? Stop pondering my existence.
Enjoy it while you've got it, kid.
Honestly,
Bills are coming. When they do show themselves, there doesn't really seem to be a specific time or a place. Many testimonials have reported that they approach front doors of houses, businesses, outside of vehicles, or even just approach people on the sidewalk at any time of day or night.
Hmm.
Some theories claim the children to be vampires, extraterrestrials, interdimensional beings, or some sort of demon or ghost.
Okay.
So there's lots of theories.
So I've never really heard of a daytime ghost before.
It can happen.
I mean, it probably
No,
has.
I think it happens a lot actually.
Really?
Yeah, like
I don't know.
you're
Every time
alone
I
in your
hear,
house and like some people who claim to get haunted, like
I mean, every time I see, a video or a story about someone seeing ghosts, it's like, oh, we went to this place and it's in the middle of the night.
yeah, well, that's when people get spooked out most of the time. You know, the witching hour, 3 a.m.
Yeah. The alien thing, them being like pale and having like a different textured skin or something. I guess that can kind of make sense, but even then I think it's a little far-fetched. Vampires is pretty dope because you need to invite them. They're
Right,
pale.
it makes sense.
The only thing is I don't think I've ever heard of vampires having just pitch black eyes.
Well, if vampires don't exist, you can make up whatever you want.
Yeah, fair enough. You got me there. And then demons. I've seen supernatural. Black eyes, spooky little kids.
Yeah.
They're trying to sacrifice you to Satan.
Kids are scary. Typical encounters include 2 children. One is normally younger than the other by a decent margin. It begins with a knock on the door. Once answering, the children will have their eyes casted down or obscured by sunglasses. Typically, the older one will be the one to speak and will ask questions.
All right, I'm gonna lock my door. Like, what the fuck? Well, they can't enter. Haha, idiots.
And will ask questions, leading for permission to be let inside. If the question is answered with any acceptance or allowance into the home, they will unobstruct their eyes and look at you. If they are denied their request, they are known to become very angry and will attempt to make you look into their eyes.
Okay, so they're trying to like hypnotize you to say yes so they can come in and eat you or something?
Not really. Because again, when all of these witnesses say that when they're approached by these kids, they're overcome with dread and they're overcome with fear.
Okay.
So already you're on edge.
Yeah. They're just trying to spook you.
You know what I mean? Well, there's a different reason that they'll have you look into their eyes.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So we'll get into that a little bit.
Man, this got me a little spooked right now, not gonna lie.
So that's just a little bit on the kids themselves. There's not a lot known, and it's very speculated what's real and what might be an accurate account.
Fair enough.
Because again, this is probably a cryptid from the internet, so
like SCP
type shit. Right. So our first story comes from Brian Bethel himself, the reporter from Texas.
Okay.
It goes that around 9:30 on the night of January 16th, 1998, Brian left his apartment in Abilene, Texas to pay his internet bill at his...
Back when you had to like go pay the internet bill? I'm just just going to set up auto pay.
Well, he walked to his ISP's. They have like a Dropbox that people would like...
Bro, everybody had a little Dropbox.
Put their checks into.
But I got broken into a bunch.
Maybe. I'm sure it was inside the building. It was just like a little slot in the wall.
I guess, yeah, makes sense.
It's fine.
Stop debunking everything.
I go into everything with skepticism, but
apparently
I still like fun theories. So on his drive there, he actually stopped by the Dollar movie theater that was right next to the ISP's building. and he was there to use the light, like from the movie theater's signage, I guess,
Uh-huh.
to make sure that the check was correct before he put it into the drop box. And while sitting in his car, there was a knock on the window, and he looked up to see two young boys. His description of them is as follows, and this is a quote from him in his report. It goes, "They were between 10 and 14 years old. The older one was slightly taller, wearing a pullover, hooded shirt with a sort of gray checkered pattern in jeans. I couldn't see his shoes. His skin was olive colored, and he had curly, medium length brown hair. He extended an air of quiet confidence. The second younger boy had pale skin and a trace of freckles. His primary characteristic seemed to be looking around nervously.
It's me.
He was dressed in a similar manner to his companion, but his pullover was light green color. His hair was a sort of pale orange.
It's literally me, dude. Are you joking? He is describing me perfectly.
In 1998.
In 1998, when I was 2
You
years
were
old.
approximately, what was it? 10.
I was approximately 10. I
In
was a
98.
big baby, so it makes sense.
They didn't appear to be related, at least directly. And that was the end of his account.
Okay.
And the following was what happened after he looked up.
Okay.
So almost immediately, he knew something was up, and he had a huge sense of fear and dread. The first boy began to tell Bethel that they needed his help, as they wanted to see the new Mortal Kombat movie in the theater.
Oh, shit. That was a good movie. It's actually trash, but it was fun.
I've never seen it.
Oh, dude, we're going to watch it. This shit's really bad, but it's fun.
Really?
Yeah. It's so cheesy.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
It's on Netflix, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel, I actually feel like I've seen it on Netflix and entirely ignored it.
Yeah. Like I said, it's really bad, but it's fun if you try to just sit there and take it for what it is.
Shitty movie night.
Yeah.
So the problem with the kids, though, is that they forgot their money, or so they say.
Or so they say.
And instead of asking Bethel for the money itself, the boy asked for a lift to their house to get the money that they had left behind.
Not an Uber.
No.
But they said they asked for a lift with a little pink mustache.
Shut up.
Uber wasn't invented yet.
No, it wasn't. I was about to agree with you and be like, yeah, they didn't get an Uber.
Yeah, they didn't get an Uber. They don't have
This
iPhones.
is 98. Brian remembers being nervous to help them, and the first boy would continue to try to convince him, saying, "Come on, mister. We just want to go to our house. We are just two little boys." Or or the older boy would say, "Come on, let us in. We can't get in your car until you do. Just let us in and we'll be gone before you know it."
You know, there's nothing that makes me more wary of a person than when you say no one time and then they try to convince you.
Come on. Especially if they use come on.
Come on.
Yeah.
We'll be gone before you know it.
Stating, "We'll go to our mother's house."
You disappear real quick when they eat you.
Brian actually found himself unlocking the car door without realizing it and quickly stopped himself. Almost like he was hypnotized.
Oh, shit. I fucking caught it.
He looked back to the kids only to realize that they were now looking directly at him with solid black eyes. The first boy starts to become threatening, saying, "We won't hurt you. You have to let us in. We don't have a gun." Brian took this as an implication that they wouldn't need guns. You see how serious this guy is?
Bro, what?
In his interview, he's like, "I took this to mean that they didn't need a gun to kill me or to take me." It was I don't mean to make fun of him, but it was
so great. Like, when it comes to like events like that, usually what's a telltale sign of if some shit's made up to me is when they just like perfectly describe everything.
Perfectly describe
it's like,
every detail.
Like, I'll pass people and they'll stare at me and I'm like, "Fuck you looking at," type thing, right?
Wow.
Like, I won't say it out loud, but like I'll say it in my head, like, "What are you looking at? Like, is there some on me or something?"
Right.
And I'll be like, think about it, but like I don't remember what they look like.
Yeah, I have a really bad memory in the first place, but I'd be screwed if like the cops came to ask me just for like a witness statement to be like, "We saw that you were on the cameras at the cafe yesterday. What was your cashier? Who was the person in front of you? What did they look like?"
Right.
You know,
like,
I don't know.
There was a thing I saw talking about how a lot of witnesses will actually throw out misinformation, like not on purpose, but like they'll false remember things. And this detective purposely set up like a situation. I think it was in like New
New
York,
York.
New York Central Park, and he essentially just made like this fake little fight type thing, and he made the people dress rather distinctly, and then he would question witnesses afterwards and try to get
Right.
their statement of like, what did the suspect look like and all this stuff, and they would, I think, like 9 out of 10 witnesses describe something completely wrong about the
Yeah.
perpetrator.
Yeah, misremembering, I think that's a big phenomenon and like
Like, I think one said he had, like, a red shirt on, one said he had a hoodie, another said he
yeah.
was wearing jeans, another said he had shorts, like, that type of thing.
Right.
I
I'm
don't remember
immediately
exactly.
suspicious of anybody who
Yeah.
claims in great detail. Like you can get details right. Like he was probably like 6 feet tall. I think he had brown, maybe blonde hair, kind of a
Yeah.
mix between like, sure, I'll believe you. But if you're like, he had auburn hair and freckles and his eyes were green and he was exactly 6'3", I know it.
Stop describing me, dude.
I
You literally just described me. 6'3"
I
with
didn't
auburn
okay.
hair and freckles.
You don't have auburn hair. You
Cherry
ginger hair.
blonde.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
The same thing. You literally just described me
You're
perfect.
sitting right in front of me.
Like, you didn't even do it on purpose. Like 6'3".
I really did it. It just okay. Anyway.
Anyways, that was a great time. I did it.
Like I said, so Brian took this as an implication that they wouldn't need guns to do whatever it is that they were going to do. And once the boys started pulling at the door, demanding to be let in, Brian managed to put his car into reverse and start speeding home. He did check back in the rearview mirror to see if they were following him. However, he saw that the boys were standing there perfectly still and just watching his car drive away.
Dude, it's literally the Shining twins, dude. Oh my god. If I saw that, I'd be scarred for life. Dude, that's horrifying.
Oh, he still to this day swears up and down that this witness thing, this literally happened. He's like, this isn't just some weird internet creepypasta, and he's pissed that it ended up on creepypasta. He doesn't
Oh,
like that.
really?
Yeah, he's like, I don't. This really happened, and just because it ended up on creepypasta doesn't mean it's fake.
I mean,
It's probably fake.
it's probably fake, but it sounds really spooky.
Yeah, active imagination.
Kind of reminds me of like Slender Man back when that was like a big thing back in like
Right.
2014.
Yeah.
I
Was
mean,
it 2014? When did that start?
I think it was 2014. So I remember dressing up as him for Halloween
Yeah.
one year. Then we
I
went and
think I
saw that
remember that.
really shitty movie version of
That was
it, and we just
beautiful.
gooned on it the whole time.
That was beautiful. The entire
with that chick in the
theater.
library just like touching the books like that. I'm just laughing.
Is that on Netflix?
Probably not.
I feel like it's on some streaming service, and I feel like I saw it this past year.
All right, we're gonna watch the real shit Mortal Kombat, and then we're gonna
God.
watch Slender Man.
Well, the crazy thing about him swearing up and down too that his testimonial is true is that again cases started popping up everywhere after he brought it up to ghosts.org.
Yeah, usually how it goes. You'll just, oh my god, I seen it, and then nah.
Right.
It's like with UFOs too.
But aliens are real, so.
I mean, I've actually seen a UFO. I promise, and I swear up and down. A lot of people don't believe me.
I swear up and down.
I swear up and down. But I have. Anyways, I didn't call the police or anything to report it. I was 11 and I was worried about playing Modern Warfare on the Xbox 360 back in 2007.
You were 11.
That made me feel old.
Old?
Yeah. I was 11 in 2007.
We made the internet.
We did make the internet, and now
What
look
it
at
is
it.
today.
Look what our sense of humor
We
is.
broke it.
Stonks. Like, that's our sense of humor now.
So the second testimonial actually that I found, a couple from rural Vermont shared their story. Stop scratching your mosquito.
That dude fucking hurts so bad.
Stop. Put a fucking Band-Aid on it.
Do I even have a Band-Aid? I don't know if I have Band-Aids.
So a second testimonial I found was from a couple from rural Vermont that shared their story. It was a stormy winter night, and our witness was woken by a banging on her front door.
Why is it always like stormy?
I don't know. It's winter. It's like a winter storm.
Don't fucking rain here.
It's in Vermont. I don't know.
I guess.
It does too. We get tropical storms.
In winter?
Not in winter. We still have stormy nights. I don't know. It snows more in Vermont than it does here.
True. It
Oh,
snows here like once every 7 years.
every 10 years or something like that. Her first thought was that there must have been a road accident. When I looked through the window, this is a quote, by the way, from her.
Okay.
When I looked out the window, I could see that the motion spotlight was on. I could see that there were footprints in the snow that had come from the road and into our driveway, but there was no car anywhere. The snow was still covering the road, and no one had driven on it in at least a couple of hours. Our front door was obscured from the window, but I could see that somebody was standing there. I wasn't sure what to think, so I woke my husband up just to feel safer. While I was telling him what was going on, the banging on the door started again, and my husband went to answer it while I stood in the hallway. When he opened the door, there were two children standing in the snow looking towards the ground,
Okay, just super creepy.
as they do. They were a boy and a girl and could not have been more than 8 years old. They were dressed strangely and had odd haircuts. The girl's hair was very long and straight, and the boy had a dated haircut that looked almost to be a bowl cut. They weren't dressed for winter, and my first thought was that they must have been Mennonite children. But as far as I know, there was never a large community of Mennonites near us. Once opening the door, they found two kids, a boy and a girl looking to be about 8 years old. Her quote goes on to say, "The children were very unnerving. They wouldn't make eye contact, and when my husband asked if everything was okay, they asked if they could come in. My husband looked at me like, 'What do I do?' and asked the kids where their parents were.
Say no.
They simply responded, 'They'll be here soon.'"
Bro, no. If you're trying to get someone to open the door for you, don't say that.
I mean, they were concerned. It's two kids, and they thought there might have been an accident or something.
They'll be here soon, though. Like, that shit's creepy as fuck.
So, despite being creeped out, she and her husband let them in and began trying to figure out where their parents were, or at least call the police to collect them. They made something warm for them to drink, though the children would only repeat, "Our parents will be here soon. Our parents will be here soon."
Children of the corn type shit.
The whole while, there was no eye contact with the children. That is until the witness went to another room to grab the warm drinks and came back with the kids looking directly into her eyes with their patented black stare.
Okay.
She quotes, "It took everything inside of me not to drop the mugs and run away. When they looked at me, their eyes were completely black. They had no whites, just giant black pupils."
No. I'm good.
Seeing her reaction to their eyes, the children excused themselves to go, as a pair, to the bathroom. As soon as they leave, the husband spontaneously has a nosebleed,
Oh, shit.
and afterward, the power goes out.
Oh, come on, dude.
This really wouldn't be an unusual thing in a snowstorm, however.
Yeah.
The current events put the couple even more on edge.
Yeah. Power just goes out. Your husband gets a nosebleed, and
Creepy
there's
ass
two
children.
creepy ass kids in your house.
So the wife ended up actually going to grab tissues for the nosebleed and found that the children were standing in the hallway.
All right. I'm convinced this dude just watched The Shining because he did mention the movie theater, and he was just real spooked.
No, this is a separate couple. This is a separate account made online. Not related at all. This is, you literally Google Black Eyed Kids on Google, and you can find all of these. There's so many.
I'm not about it. No thanks, man.
So I'm saying, as soon as he made the report, all of these people started coming forward with their witness testimonies, and
But
yeah.
maybe it is a creepypasta, like before creepypasta was a thing. Because like I said, maybe the
1998. Yeah.
the original guy was like, "I'm gonna watch The Shining," and then he got really scarred from it, and then he made that post online.
He might have had like a lucid dream or something. Those are
Maybe.
supposed to feel like the most real or whatever. You think he paid his internet that month? He thought
He
he paid it though.
did. Maybe. Maybe he's actually a time traveler.
Anything is possible. So when she saw the children standing in the hallway, she says she stopped dead in her tracks. The two children were standing at the end of the hall. They weren't moving, and I have never been so scared in my whole life. They just stood there in the dark. After what felt like forever, the boy said, "Our parents are here."
Oh, what? No.
They walked to the door, the children. They walked to the door, opened it, and walked out.
Okay.
The couple claimed to have watched them leave and enter a car with two mysterious men. The men looked like they were, this is a quote again.
Very progressive. Two men, parents.
This is a quote. The men looked like they were wearing black colored suits and were very tall, at least 6 feet. When my husband waved at them, they just stared at us, got into the car, and drove off. And that's the end of her
No
testimony.
thanks.
So let's talk about some of the after effects about what happens if you let a black-eyed child into your home or vehicle or help them in any way.
Okay.
So this is from the second testimonial. In most cases where the black-eyed children are let into a home or vehicle, the story is never over after they leave. Oftentimes, there are negative, long-lasting effects. For the couple, they actually had cats in their home at the time. And she did mention it, I just left it out of the story, but the cats, like, flipped their fucking shit.
Oh yeah.
Like, we're not cool with this. They were hissing at the kids, and they immediately bolted and, like, went and hid. So
you should always trust animals. They have like that. They have that special nature sense, so they just can tell something's off.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I feel like most animals just don't like people.
I mean, yeah, but if you're a domesticated cat,
Noodle doesn't like most people.
I know she hates me.
Shut up.
It's true. She hates me, no matter how much Bailey tries to deny it.
She doesn't hate you. She used to be skittish, and now she'll literally sleep on your gut. Like,
Not me, man. She fucking hates me.
she finds a good lap to lay on, and bam, she's asleep. So yeah, again, for the couple, one of the cats in their home later hemorrhaged and died in the home,
Oh shit.
while the other two cats just seemed to disappear. They were just gone.
Okay. The kids ate them.
I mean, if they're aliens, I don't know.
Oh shit. I mean.
Both she and her husband have continued to have nosebleeds to this day, and the husband was actually later diagnosed with an aggressive form of skin cancer.
Okay.
Some believe, and that's actually a common thing with most of these cases, is a lot of people will become diagnosed with skin cancer later on, and a lot of people believe that this is due to the radiation from the children, assuming them to be aliens.
I was just about to say that sounds like some alien shit.
Yeah. So their train of thought is that, like, if people are getting skin cancer after being exposed to the children,
And that would explain the two dudes in black suits that are relatively tall.
Right.
MIB.
Exactly. So there's all kinds of theories out there.
Oh man.
And stuff, but that is the case of the black-eyed kids, the BEK.
I'm actually relatively spooked. Like, I already didn't trust kids, but now it's just on sight, like, no, not really. I don't hit kids, but
just be on guard if your lights start to flicker. It's either a Demogorgon or a black-eyed child.
Man, I'm gonna have to get like a mural with the alphabet and then little Christmas lights so they can talk to me.
So you can speak to the under, what is it, underneath?
The upside
down. That's what I am in. Man,
I've only seen the first season and I knew that.
It's beautiful. It is a great show. You should watch the rest of it.
I should, but
Netflix sponsor it. So if you enjoyed this episode and our previous episodes, you can find more on our YouTube, What Sleep. We are also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
And if you want to stay up to date on any new episodes we post, or for any additional information on either cases that we talk about, go ahead and follow us on Twitter at What Sleep Pod. You can find us on Instagram at What Sleep Podcast. We also have a subreddit, What Sleep Podcast. And we also have a Facebook group, just What Sleep. Please be sure to also leave any reviews on Apple Podcasts, leave a comment and a like on our YouTube channel.
We appreciate your support too. We've seen a lot of growth in just the first week, and we're super excited about it. Oh yeah,
honestly. We've had a great first week, and we're super pumped about it, and we're gonna get even more episodes out to you guys.
Yeah, it makes us excited to record more episodes. So
hell yeah,
we really appreciate it. But
we will catch you in the next episodes
of What Sleep.
We'll see you next time, guys.
Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.